Hey everyone, happy October. Hey, it's October 15th, 2018 today. And I have an archetype workshop coming up Sunday the 21st, 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 5 p.m. And just looking forward to sharing all of this magical goodness that I've been playing with the last couple of years. And it's really freaking amazing tools that I've learned just by paying attention and asking to see what I needed to see. Asking to see into me more deeply so that I could be with me and be the love that I need for me. And in this journey, of integration and individuation and initiation, it's been an epic initiation. Life is the great initiation. I've learned so much about myself and about the goddess and about all we are and the many different aspects that we contain within our being. And it's been really illuminating for me to get in touch with my wounded child and my magical child and my miser, my tyrant, my rebel, my artist, and my addict. And so looking at all those aspects of my being and asking them what they need from me to be whole, well, and complete, and to be included in the whole that is my being. Has been really, really interesting. So what are archetypes? Archetypes are the roles that we play and the roles that are played out through our ways of being. They're played out in and through our relationships to teach us. So they're mirrors and reflections of ourselves, and they're different aspects of ourselves. And so, I look at them as characters that we play, or roles that we play, part of our personality, definitely, and a part of the psyche, and that's our soul. And so how do we live well without soul? That's a good question to ask. How do we live well without our soul? So can we invite the whole soul to be well? And can we start paying attention and inviting the soul to express and to be well and to be received through our ways of being? And so I love myths, archetypes, and stories. Stories. Who doesn't love a good story? Stories have hidden meanings, hidden messages, and deep and profound truths in them. And we all tell ourselves our own stories. We all have our own stories. Some of them are true stories, and some of them are not so true. And so the stories that we tell ourselves, that has a lot to do with how we see ourselves. And our mythologies, we all have our own mythology, but we also have a collective mythology too. And so it's really interesting to look at our myths, because our mythology becomes the myth that we're living. It becomes the program, like the core program of our operating system that runs all other programs. So let's look at our myths and our stories and see if they're aligned with who we are and who we want to be, and with what we want to create and what we want to receive. So what I want to do is kind of go over the two dominant, disempowering collective myths of our time, and kind of deconstruct those and look at those and kind of just look at the reflections and what's been created as we've agreed on some level, unconsciously or consciously, to those stories and to that myth and what that's created. And so what we're going to do is look at the archetypes of the tarot, sacred tarot, and look at the sacred archetypes, the 22 archetypes there, and also the magical and mundane archetypes that influence us every day. And I have some fun stories to share and some songs, and it's just gonna invite you guys to come and dress up if you wanted to as an archetype, as a favorite character. I mean, it's around Halloween, so it's perfect time for costume parties and all that, and I thought it would fit just wonderfully if anyone thinks that feels good to them to come and dress up and have fun and play. And then I'll have some fun creative activities after I share about all these awesome things at play. We'll have two options. You can either do some soul collage and archetype board, that kind of a thing, or I have canvases and paint and all sorts of fun markers and mediums and all that to do an archetypal wheel, like of our own archetypes on a canvas. So I figured, yeah, that sounds fun to me, and I really enjoy this work, and I'm just really excited to share it, and I hope that it's something that you want to do, and I would like to welcome you to come and to show up. And that is a huge thing for me. Like showing up used to be so difficult for me, to show up for me, to show up for the things that I needed for me, because I believed I had a story that said that I couldn't receive what I needed for me. And so that actually kind of set blocks up for me, and made it like a little more challenging to actually follow through and show up for me when I needed me. And so that has to do with the ghost archetype, and the ghost archetype has been showing up a lot for me. And I feel like the ghost, a lot of us can relate to, because we've either been ghosted or we have a hard time showing up for ourselves. And so I have compassion. I have a lot of compassion for the ghost, and for how it can be so hard to show up for ourselves when we really need to show up for ourselves. And so I want to encourage all of you to show up for yourselves, show up warts and all, show up beauty and all, show up shine and all, and let's heal our relationships with ourselves, and listen to the ghost archetype, and ask ourselves, where can we show up more fully? Where can we show up more fully for ourselves, and more fully in our relationships, more fully for we? Because we all need each other. We all do need each other, and we're all needed here. So let's show up. Let's show up where we need to show up for ourselves, and let's show up for each other. And so I hope you'll join me next Sunday. I'm really excited, and I hope to see you. Hope you're all doing well, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your month of October. If I don't see you this time, hope to see you next time. All right, be well.